Hey guys, Rix here, and today I'm coming back at you with another video, uh, something that isn't so positive, like the normal content is. But so today we're going to be looking at some pretty obvious quality control mistakes from some Citizen Brick Day 8 items. So I did some further research into the quality control of Citizen Brick, and from, of course, anecdotal evidence, but from quite a few people, probably over 10, maybe even over a dozen, I think, were telling me that a lot of Citizen Brick prints chip very easily, crack very easily, rub off very easily, and oftentimes come damaged. So naturally, I wanted to check out my own CB Day 8 items to see whether any of this happened, and a lot did. So if you've seen the haul video, I got 3 of these operators. We're going to look at 2 of them who had errors on them, obviously in the quality control process. So the first one that you can see is we have a clear paint chip missing right there on the side of his body. And so some of you might be saying, hey, that's just normal. No, it isn't. Look at this guy. He has a perfectly straight line. Clearly, the ink chipped off at some point in the process and is nowhere to be found. There's also that strange white dot that you see kind of in the upper right corner of his vest. Not so bad of an error, but it's just a random space for the ink to be missed. This side, as you can clearly see, there isn't an error with the ink. So clearly, there was the error here. It's not terrible, but this is supposed to be a premium minifigure that we paid a hefty sum for. You shouldn't be getting any parts that have ink chips in them. So that's the first guy. The second guy has some more severe issues, shall we say. So first of all, you might have seen on my Instagram if you follow it, but let's look at this. If you look at the back of his body, there's clear distressing here on the torso, both on the vest print and just on the normal blue Lego print. I don't know what this could be from. Maybe it's from their machinery, maybe the ink messed up, but there's some clear errors here. It looks like essentially a bunch of scratches. As well, if you look at the back of the minifigure right there, you can see a crack and just kind of a messed up ink spot. It's in that upper left-hand corner, as you can see, and it essentially looks like they put too much ink into one spot. I don't really know how that would happen, but mistakes occur, and you think that things like this would be caught, especially this side of the body in quality control. I feel like this side of the body, it's fairly obvious that there is an error right here, so I feel like this should have been caught. So this figure is definitely more disappointing than the first in terms of the quality control mistakes. And then finally, this is one of the minifigures, should I say, that I was most excited about receiving. So Citizen Brick on Citizen Brick Day, they release misprint items, but they aren't actually misprints. Essentially what they are is they're old or current production items put onto a variety of colors or simply reproduced. So you're still expecting a premium professional minifigure. So all looks well in the front, nothing too bad, but then you turn it to the back and you look at the arms. So let's take a second here. Let's look at these arms. It looks terrible. The camo is completely misprinted and is just absent from these parts of the arms. This is a pretty clear quality control issue because if you printed this, you tossed it in a bin, you tossed it in a package, and you just took one cursory glance at it before you sold it, it's pretty obvious that these arms have some major mistakes. I mean, there's entire portions of it that appear to be rubbed off, scratched off, or just simply weren't printed properly the first time around. So to me, this one is unacceptable. This one is probably the most unacceptable, and then this guy with his side and back scratch are the second most unacceptable to me out of these 3. These are just issues that should be glaringly obvious. I mean, if you're doing any form of quality control in these figures after they were printed, before they're sold, or before you ship them out, I think that this error right here with the camouflage, this is pretty easy to see. I don't see in any universe how you could be doing quality control on every minifigure and you miss something like this. I mean, this is, it's pretty straightforward. Nothing else with the figure is messed up, but I mean, those back of the arms, it really just kind of, it takes the air out of your sails when you see that, especially when you're trying to collect this stuff, because it's a pretty major mistake and it's a pretty obvious mistake as well, right? It's not like a small chip in the paint on the side, like some of these guys had, but it's something more major where these arms they're just incorrect. I mean, this figure is a true misprint. Like, probably the arms shouldn't have been sold. The body's okay. It should have gotten reprinted arms. So that's, that is an issue. All in all, this was just me looking through my Citizen Brick Day 8 stuff with a very cursory glance. I did not go into very much detail into a lot of the other products that are sealed in their packaging because I don't want to open those. But with the kind of little mistakes and errors and some of the major mistakes and major quality control issues that I've seen on these figures, I wouldn't be surprised that many of the other products I received had them as well. When I already have 3 of these that I can very clearly see errors on within, the first 2 minutes of looking at my haul, I think it's fairly obvious that there are some quality control issues that need to be addressed. I have chatted with some people who have collected Citizen Brick for a while through Instagram and other means, and they've talked about how this issue of paint chipping and paint rubbing off easily before the minifigure is even removed from the package has been an issue for a long time, even years, and Citizen Brick has simply not addressed it. I don't know if this is true, but I felt like I should raise that point because as the person I was talking to was someone who I respect within this community and who is respected, so there's no reason why I should doubt their credibility or doubt what they're saying. So this is mainly a PSA to tell everybody who is, ordering from Citizen Brick or considering it that you should watch out, because you just have to be cognizant that some of your stuff, or a lot of it, I can't check all of it because some of it is packaged, might come scratched, chipped, the ink is incorrect, the print is incorrect, stuff like that, right? I know that we've had previous videos of this with other companies, mainly thinking about Brickmania and then some errors with TMC. But it seemed like generally those companies did acknowledge that there was an error on those products and kind of moved on from there. Whereas it kind of feels like this has been an issue within the Citizen Brick printing community for so long that nobody really addresses it anymore. To all the collectors that I contacted who told me it's essentially a given that you're going to get some products that have chipping. So that's kind of disappointing to me. I think that I have to reevaluate whether I'm going to continue to collect Citizen Brick and whether it's worth it, because I don't want to continually to get figures on all of these releases that have mistakes. I mean, that's unacceptable for me, especially as a collector, because these are things that are going for display or will be on display at some point. So if there's errors on it, that's not something I want to put on display. Other than that, that's kind of all I wanted to go over in this video. As I said, I didn't do a deep dive into all of the products I received for CB Day for their quality control, so there might be other errors that I'm not pointing out, but as I said, this is just me looking at my figures that were unboxed or were in easily removable boxes for a short period of time, 5 minutes, and I found these pretty fast, right? These are pretty obvious QC errors, so hopefully these are addressed at some point in the future. Hopefully they, just maybe fix their process, or maybe the ink is wrong. I don't know what it is, but something is going not how it's supposed to. I think that is a fact of the matter based upon the experiences I've had and the experiences that I've talked about with other people who collect at this company. Other than that, I don't have a lot to say, so I'll leave it there for you to decide and for you to think about if you collect CB or if you don't. But anyways, as always, do all the normal stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.